Welcome to our lesson on variation and evolution. The key questions for today are: how are the phenotypes of organisms determined? What effects can mutations have on the phenotype? What is evolution? What is natural selection? What is speciation? The key words you will need to know are genetic, environmental, phenotype, variation, mutation. All natural populations show variation in their phenotypes. These variations can be caused by different inherited alleles, which affect the phenotype characteristics. They can be caused by environmental influences, such as food availability or other factors. Task: group these characteristics into the Venn diagram, showing if they are controlled by genetics, the environment, or both. Natural fur colour in mice. Muscles built up from exercise. Eye colour, dyed hair. Height, weight. Natural fur colour in mice and eye colour are determined by genetics. Muscles built from exercise and dyed hair are environmental, and height and weight can be influenced by both genetics and environmental factors. Some variations in the phenotype of an organism can be caused by DNA mutations. This is when the DNA code is changed, so sometimes a different protein can be made, which results in a different characteristic. Most mutations do not have any effect on the phenotype of an organism. Some may slightly change the phenotype, but very few cause a different phenotype. If individuals with this mutation are better suited to their environment or have a survival advantage, then this can lead to a rapid change in the species, with the new phenotype being passed on to the next generations of organisms. This is called forced evolution, and can also occur if there is a sudden change in the environment. For example, animals such as owls have started to have more brown feathers than grey. This is due to increased temperatures caused by global warming, meaning that they can camouflage better in an environment with less frost and snow. An inherited change in a population over many generations and resulting in new characteristics is called evolution. This is the theory of how all species developed from simple life forms that first developed over 3 billion years ago. This theory was proposed by Charles Darwin. The principle behind this progressive change in a species is a process called natural selection. Natural selection dictates that organisms that are best suited to their environment will survive longer and be healthier than others, meaning that they are more likely to breed and pass on their characteristics. Let's take giraffes as an example. A long time ago, giraffes may have had shorter necks. There would have been some variation within the species, and they would have eaten the leaves that they could reach. As the food at a low level started to run out, those giraffes with longer necks, due to a mutation in the genes, would have been able to reach the higher leaves that the others could not. Therefore, these giraffes would have been healthier and would live longer. This makes them more desirable as a mate and more likely to live long enough to reproduce. These longer-necked giraffes would have passed on their genes to their offspring. This would happen repeatedly over many generations until all of the giraffes had long necks, and those with short necks would have died out. Task: fill in the missing words. Here are the answers. Life evolved due to changes in genes. Changes in genes causes variation. Changes in genes are called mutations. Individuals with characteristics most suited to the environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. This means that those organisms are more likely to pass on their characteristics to their offspring, resulting in a change in the population's characteristics. A form of evolution called speciation can happen when members of a species become separated and evolve differently. The two groups can become so different that they are no longer considered the same species. Organisms are described as being the same species if they can successfully reproduce, giving offspring that are fertile and therefore able to reproduce themselves. This can be difficult to test as most organisms, when placed in an artificial environment, fail to reproduce anyway. Task: if two lobsters are taken from two groups found in different parts of the ocean, fail to reproduce, this does not necessarily mean they are from a different species. Suggest reasons why the lobsters may not reproduce. The lobsters may not reproduce as they have been placed in an artificial environment away from their natural home. They may also be the same sex or not like each other. Lobsters may also have a breeding season, so it may be the wrong time of year for them to breed, or they could not have reached sexual maturity.